Hello everyone, woo! I'm High Treason, and welcome back to Let's Play The Long Drive, part 82. I think we made the right choice by moving this car. I think that would have ended horribly if we'd left it there. I'm not going to drive this. Like, we'd have to spend time cleaning it up. The green kind of makes me think of my other 2101, but this car's a gas guzzler. And yeah, we've got a fair bit of gas in there, but I don't think that'll get us to the end of the road. And the last thing I want is to be running out of gas this late in the game where, you know, our resources can be quite sparse. So we're going to drive this, but we might drive that when we're going the other way. But I said we'd get to the end of the road in this car. So that's 635k plus 50, well, yeah. 685 we need to get to. We'll just say 690. We'll probably be able to go beyond that. We are at 4882 kilometres total on the world counter. So we're practically at 4900. We'll probably be like close to 4950 by the time we get to the end of this part, unless something absolutely horrifically horrible happens to us. And yeah, that's actually kind of scary because, you know, there's every chance we're going to be finishing this even earlier than I thought. But that's also great because whether I win my bet or not, like, at this point, we are just laying the smacks down, aren't we? We're totally asserting dominance over these other people big time, and that's what we do round here, so yeah, they're just going to feel so fucking emasculated when we get there. It's the end of the road before them. Because we are going to get there in good time. I could probably just fucking walk at this point and still beat them, you know? We should just all get out the car and walk, just to rub it in. Maybe I will. When I get to the end of the road, I'll try and slam the brakes and just walk the last few feet. Like, just to fucking prove a point, you know? We'll push the car over by walking. Yeah, that'll work. Unless it's on like a steep mountain and I can't do it, but yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. You know, we have to do some humiliation. Humiliation, do do, do 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 do, do do do, din do 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 do. Yeah, that sort of humiliation, you know, make them dance. We stand there and laugh, and then we'll just put loads of rabbits down and make them scream a lot. Scream like a little girly girl. Man, this is going to be so fun. And we get to drill all the alien babes because we got there fast. By the time they get to the end of the road, they're just going to be like, oh man, there's no alien girls left for me. I mean, more might arrive, but we'll be going home by then. Those will be like the sloppy seconds that don't deserve our genes, you know. They're like inferior because they took too long to get here. Their part of the planet can just die off. Or else, you know, if this other person gets to the end of the road, those alien babes who are late to the party, they can reproduce with them, and that'll just produce a subordinate race for the offspring of mine, you know. They just exist to run around and serve my offspring. Yes, master, what can I get you, master? You are the greatest. I am just a mere, like, you know, not as fast at driving a car, like, descended loser, and yeah, and, you know. Because we're definitely fast at this point. We are way ahead. Do I have any calculations on my wall? Let me slow down. By 78, we wanted to be at 46.15. At 78, we were at 46.34. What was my other calculation? Yeah, really by part 88 is when I was calculating when we were going to be at 49.40. We're on part 82. And there's every chance we could pass 49.40 today. So, you know, we are... I mean, keep in mind, to get to part 78, we were actually behind when we were at part 73. sort of, like, as we were coming into that, I had calculated we were going to be like, what, 4290, 4490, something like that. When we were at part 73, yeah, we were at 4262. We were behind at that stage. There's a boat out there. You know, maybe we could have brought that Plymouth. I don't think so. You watch us never see another boat again. Whichever decision I make, it's going to be wrong in some way. So, you know, I just couldn't win on that one. But, as I say, I really don't want to be faffing with a new car this late in the game, because, especially not the Plymouth, just because it's so hard to get parts for if something does go wrong. This 2101 is, a lot of the parts are generic. They're interchangeable. It's a much more common thing for wheels and that. It's a much easier car to deal with if something horrible happens. And late game terrain, it's actually behaving very well right now, and maybe it behaves better than it used to, but the one time I drove out here before, and when I saw another person do it, the terrain was quite nasty and you could get some very strange things happen. I think really, in my mind, I made the best decision. But yeah, coming into the 70s of parts, we were behind where I'd calculated. We are now ridiculously far ahead. Like, I don't know if my calculations were just bad or something, or if we really have pushed it out. And to be honest, with us doing like 80, 90k and stuff like that, it actually does seem about right, doesn't it? Because I mean, target's 50 a part, and we're doing nearly double that per part, and we have been for a few parts now, I guess. So yeah, in reality, that's going to half the number of parts it's going to take, just about. So yeah, you know, we're like, say if we're doing 80k a part, then that's an excess of 30. After 2 parts, you know, that's an entire part that now doesn't need to exist. Like, as such, you know, it's just getting silly, basically, is what I'm saying. It's really getting silly now. I've got to look at the clock when I started, but I think I can figure it out. I think I know how much time we've got left, so, you know, we should be alright. Should be alright. It would suck if I went horribly over time at this point, wouldn't it? Then again, we're going to do it in less than 4,500 minutes, is pretty much guaranteed, unless we're super unlucky and we have like one of the weird 6,000k long gnarly roads I've heard about, which, you know, we could have. There's no way to know this. Then, well, other than to drive to the end of it, like, then yeah, you know, I'm going to win that bet, is pretty much a given. So you are, at this point, almost certainly going to have to start writing reasons I'm brilliant in the comments. And like I say, you know, just wait until we get to the end before you do it, because something could go wrong and I could lose the bet yet. But it's looking promising that I'm going to win, and I want you to totally make up bullshit. Like, you know, it'd be something really silly, like I taught you how to brush your teeth or something like that, I don't know. Like, I don't want you actually to write anything that seems even remotely genuine. I want it to be stupid, I want it to be silly. And then we can stick it to this person who has been, like, mouthing off about how great they are at the game. You know, if when they look over here and they see how brilliant we all are, and how brilliant I am, because I'm all that matters here. No, obviously not, I'm just fucking with you, but, and that's why I want it jokingly, because I think it should just be a joke, and I'm not making you. Don't write anything. Write reasons I'm terrible if you want, that suffices as well, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, all that matters is that we know the quality here is better than it is over there. And I do believe I know who this guy is now as well, so I'm going to have to look into this and see if it is. So I don't want to name names, but I think it is someone I've seen play the game before at some point, like, you know, and I don't think they're necessarily aware of me, but, well, maybe they will be someday. Maybe they're going to fucking hear about this and make them look stupid. And here's the thing, they're actually, if it is who I think it is, they're one of the semi-serious sort of players. They're not like the silly fucking goofy ones. And believe it or not, as much as I bash on the screamers, you know, the people who just screech at the game, I actually do find those to be quite entertaining by comparison. If I was going to watch someone else play it, that is probably actually more the style I would watch, just because it's farther removed from how I play the game. Like, you know, I'm the somber one at this. I'm the somber, serious one. So, do I need to see someone else do that now? I want someone being silly and screaming at rabbits. But I generally don't have time. You know, my free time is actually playing this at the moment. So, that's what we're doing. Grass biome, we're probably going to crash at some point. I don't know why I don't get on with these. What the fuck is that white fucking dome over there? Should I be concerned about that? Is that like the alien mothership? There will be a bunch of mothers on it by the time I'm done. God damn. 660. Were we at 635 when we started? We've done nearly 30k already. We're at 25k now. Yeah, progress is still happening quite good, and not stopping is helping. Like, as I keep saying, we might not stop again until we see the end of the road now, just because we should be close. We should be within a couple hundred, like 250k of it at most, I would think, at this point. Like, maybe 270-ish. Something like that. I really can't see us, you know, being that far off. I mean, we're over 4,900k out from the start now, is at this point. You know, we are 4,900k and then some from our starting point. About 4917, something like that, from the starting point. So yeah, we're eating well into the last bit of the road, and I'm really surprised we're not getting these gnarl mountains. And it's actually making me worried, because I do feel like the game will want to give us one last lot of fucking gnarl mountains. And so I'm sort of concerned that it's going to really squish them up, and it's going to be like driving up a fucking wall. And it'll end up taking us like 150 parts to do it, because we'll be zagging up them at like 20 fucking miles an hour or something. You know, it could happen. It's the problem with random terrain. This is what I mean. Like, the odds are good, but nothing's set in stone. And you can actually get impassable terrain, and the game can bug and just become unwinnable as well. Which doesn't seem to happen a lot, but it could happen. We could have just a couple of k before where the road would end, and we wouldn't know. Something that happens that makes it impassable, and we just wouldn't be able to get there. I'd probably have a better chance than most people, because I would just say drive northwest, like, well, northwest-ish, and then I'd just drive like south, like, after a while, and hope to rejoin the road from whatever the fuck the problem was. But, you know, a lot of people I don't think would be ballsy enough to drive that far off the road, like, you know, 10, 20, 30k or whatever. I would. I honestly wouldn't care. If it's going to give us a road boat this late on, that's going to be stupid. Drive a UFO home, if that's the case. You know, not only are we going to disappoint some alien chick by telling us she turned up late and she can't have our fucking dick, you know, we'll steal our fucking spaceship. Yeah, we're cruel sometimes. You gotta make girls cry a little bit. Makes them like you more. Really does. I have found that over the years. Like, I'm not saying be like a total dick and smack them around or nothing, but if you're a little bit mean to them, they seem to like it. They seem to start respecting you more. And as I was on about, like, well, you're kind of cruel to your guy friends, you know. Well, like, I'm the sort of person who calls his mate a dickhead all the time. That's kind of cruel. It's a different kind of cruelty, but yeah, you know, it's weird. You're a bit more stern, and authoritative with women. They seem to like it for some reason. That's when they start creaming themselves over you. Is when it becomes apparent that you're just not going to take any bullshit. So it's pretty weird. $669. Okay. Progress is still going on. We're about 35k out now. Ugh, rocks. I hate these grass biomes. Please just put me back in the desert. Just give me a desert, a pale desert flatland all the way to the end. That'd be great. That's a little bit boring. I actually do want mountains just to spice it up. I do sort of think I see them, but every time I think I see them, it just ends up being little fucking hummocks or some shit. Like, you know, might as well be. It's disappointing. I'm driving too fast just to fucking spice things up. I'm just like, nah, fuck it, let's just crash the car. I'll slow down a bit in a minute, but I'm just... Oh man, I don't like grass biomes. I want out of them. I've never liked the grass biome. I think it should stay in the game, but it's my least favourite biome type. And so when I'm in them, I just want out of them. And so... Oh, we hit that. I don't think it broke anything, but we did just smack the side of it. Is this car starting to tilt like that 2105 we had? I fucking hope not. .673. Oh, it'll be 675 in a minute. That used to be my favourite radio station. Radio 10 FM on the fucking medium wave band, because that makes sense. Fucking Dutch. Oh no, the Dutch could come up with that. Now, I'm sure they must have been broadcasting on an FM frequency, but that transmitter probably just didn't have the range. And they probably started on medium wave and just kept that transmitter on, and, you know, that actually did have the range to make it over here. Like, I'm in England, but I'm technically not that far away from Holland, you know, there is only, like, a little bit of the North Sea between me and there, so... And you do sort of see that a little bit. There is a... It's quite small, I guess, but you do see sort of a little bit of Dutch influence in some of the local stuff, you know. I can't think of any of it off the top of my head, and it's weird how you can't do that about your local area until it's like right in front of you, but it's just some of the things people say or do, or some of the food you see people eating occasionally, like have a mild Dutch influence. We got a lot of music from over there, like in the 90s, you know, it's little bits of it do trickle over. And the same probably happens in the other direction. And what I dread to think is that the Dutch could hear 1161. There's a station that operated here, I don't know if it's still going. Those poor bastards, I hope they never accidentally tuned into that. If you can hear that weird tappy tappy tappy, that's actually my steering wheel making that noise. It's falling to pieces now. Okay, let's slow down a bit because this is a gnarl road, and I don't want to wreck my car up now. Thought there was a rock. It was just a render bug. You probably won't see what I saw, like through all the quality bullshit, but the way the lines were made it look like there was a rock sticking up right in the middle of the road. And this is where every time I see the draw limit of the road and it doesn't seem to be getting farther away, my brain starts going, maybe that's the end, maybe that's the end. But we really shouldn't reach the end yet. I don't think we'll reach it in this part. It's not impossible, but I don't think it's likely. You watch this be it right here. Are you getting it though? Every time you can't see the post continuing any farther, are you starting to think, oh, is this it? Oh, is this it? I'm rolling a cigarette. I think we're about due a night cycle in a couple of minutes or so. We must be coming up on a night cycle. It feels like we should be coming up on a night cycle pretty soon. Okay, so keep this under control. Road's going to go left again. Terrain is definitely behaving a lot better than it did last time. Definitely behaving a lot better than it did last time. And whilst it is different, like, to the world I was on, I do remember being in a grass biome like this at about this stage, but it was a much different sort of geography, and it's when I remember standing on top of my car with binocs every time I would be at a high point like this and staring into the distance. It's weird how this far out as well somehow feels closer to the Cursed, even though, as I've told you, the Cursed isn't a thing, but yeah, it's weird how these feel. It feels even more Coastal Road. You know, we probably could have took that Plymouth, but I'm glad we didn't, because I just think it's too risky to take it out this far. Plus, it's slower than this car, believe it or not. Like, if we've done the math on purse distance, and yeah, that Plymouth is slower than this. And I guess you could push higher speeds, but it doesn't actually drive very well flat out, like, compared to this. I can make better progress in this car than I can in that one. It's a nice car, I do like it. I will drive another one on the way home, I would think. I figured that I was doing the math on how far I'd have to drive back from where I was to get to my green 2101. Probably, if we do drive home one day and it is there still, it's probably about 1500k back to the starting house from where it is. So that'll give you an idea of how far back we'll have to drive to get to it. If it's not, like, you know, been deleted from existence. But if I ever do the drive home, and it is still there, I will be driving that green 2101 all the way back to the start house if we find it. Now, what would be funny is if we were driving back and the Dacia loaded in and was still rolling down the mountain. Because once we're far enough away from it, the physics would stop. But the way the road carved there, it could actually smash into us on the way back up that road. Like, it could just come in and fucking sideswipe us, so that would be pretty funny. The odds of it happening are extremely low, but it would be kind of hilarious if I was just driving along and just doosh by some car that had sent to its doom, you know. I would actually think it was pretty cool if you found totaled cars just sitting in the desert with all bits lying around there and stuff. You know, as if it was people had crashed and died, or they'd just rolled the car out there. God, that Dacia was crap. It really was. I was so glad to get rid of it. I ended up driving such a rust bucket just to get away from it. And I actually quite enjoyed that bit, like nursing that rusty car along. I remember it got really tough bit of terrain and all sorts of bits fell off, and it was quite a fun adventure keeping that going. Looks like we are getting something resembling mountains here, doesn't it? The road's getting a bit rough. I'm going to have to slow down. It keeps nearly skidding my car and tipping it, and try and stay about 120, I think, on this, just to be extra safe. I mean, we are pretty much coming up on our target distance now. We're about 4k off of our target distance. So there is no hurry. We have a good bit of time left. It has been an adventure. It has definitely been an adventure. So the terrain load being slower out here does trick you, doesn't it? You sort of start thinking, oh, it might be the end of the road. I'm sort of used to it, so it's not happening to me. I'm actually going to stop just to check my oil level. Oh, can I do it through here? That would be convenient. Yeah, it'd be too convenient. Yeah, jeez, they're going to make me get out of my fucking car. Yeah, fuck off. You know, maybe I'm glad the hood opens the wrong way on this. Let's get out. Oh man, that's a beautiful colour. That's like copper coloured. Good swap to that one. But you notice, like I said, we're seeing cars again out here. So however the spawning's handled, that's clearly still a thing in this version, that when you get this far out, you start seeing cars again. That's a two-stroke mix. See, chocolate so no one else can have it. I'm going to have that brush and put it in my car in case I need it. Yeah, I don't see no oil out here. You lovely, lovely car. Probably never going to drive you, but we'll see you again someday, I'm certain. Yeah, I could do with topping the oil up, but it's not real urgent. I only did this just to break up the ride, like, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure someone would rather I just kept driving. There's our night cycle. This seems a bit late. I feel like we're only getting time for like 2 of these this part, so it's like the length of them maybe is different sometimes. No one said it was very accurate. It may be whatever controls those is a very low priority in the game, and so like it slips a bit. Of course, as there's aliens in this game, anything that doesn't make sense, you just say the aliens are making it happen. So the aliens are just fiddling with the rotation of the sun, because it's not the planet that rotates, clearly. Okay. It's going to take us a while to get back up to speed. Holy shit! Do I want to fucking know about that? How long has that been though? Okay, let's just not look at it actually. That might be better. I might top the oil one last time, but I don't really think we need to. As it is, we should have about 300k left in the car before it seizes up easily, so that should get us to the end of the road. I don't think we'll see the end of the road in this part, but every part after this one is road ending candidate. Like, really is at this stage. We are just so fucking close. So close. I mean, it's not impossible. We've got a short road and it will end, like, in this part, but like I say, I don't think they're likely. I haven't heard of that happening very often. Yeah, so, as I predicted, we are getting... I honestly, I haven't driven out here before, not in this world, but I do have a vague understanding of what the terrain generation is doing at times, and so, you know, you can sort of predict it a little bit. It's just odds, isn't it? Statistics. I know I have at least X amount of road left, and I know the terrain changes roughly at this interval. We are on this type of terrain, so logically it's going to change to other type of terrain. You know, it's not really hard to figure out, is it? It's just distances. That's all it is. Yeah, we'll go and have a look for some oil. So we might as well, just for something to do. Because we really have done, like, all there is to do to get us to the end by now. In fact, what we could do is fill up... these usually have a 20-litre container in them somewhere. So if we can find a 20-litre container that either has oil or that I don't mind emptying, and that's usually one of those is empty. So yeah, that one's full of two-stroke mix. Yeah, that has oil in it already. Oh, cool, well I guess we'll use that. These sometimes have... oh, there you go. That ought to do it. And then we'll just tip the oil, you know, our 3 litre and 1 out, and we'll just keep this in the car, and then we know we're not going to run out. We should be just fine the rest of the way. And then if anyone's worrying about it, you can stop worrying now. You know, oh, he's taking care of the potential problem. You know, we've got no issues. And if we have to change car for some reason, then, well, we should be able to do it. I don't know why I'm moving backwards, by the way. It's pretty weird. Oh, I'm glad I just closed that. Let's tab it. Get it centred. Let's turn it around a bit so we can dump it in the basket. Let's get rid of that stupidal fucking brush there for now. There you go. I'm glad you can hold 2 things at once. Game would be much more of a chore to play if you couldn't do that. I think that one is gas, that means that one's oil. Right, so we'll just pour this in the engine. This should definitely get us there. We could just keep this, to be honest. Yeah, let's chuck it back in. What's a bit more weight? What's it going to do to us? You know, slow the car down. Do you think our car at this point? And as I say, we are so ridiculously far ahead of like other people I've seen play this and other people I've read of play this that we are just, you know, we can quite literally just take the piss at this point. down the hill, you know, just at the top here. I'll stand in this lane facing down it, get my sister to squat facing down it, and we'll just see who's like streak on the tarmac reaches the bottom of the hill first, I guess. You know, it's pretty fun. Have a race. We don't have a lot of time left. We've actually not made as great progress in this part, but it doesn't matter. Like I say, it really doesn't matter now. I'm not even trying that hard anymore. Just don't need to. We have no fucking reason to put ourselves out at this stage. 699. Well, we'll get it up to 700 easy, so, you know, yeah, 5k beyond target. We have enough time that we could easily knock down another 15k or so. Terrain permitted, it might get very steep and very difficult to drive on, but hey, like I say, it doesn't matter now. Does not matter anymore. I think we do well to top the oil, actually, just because we will need all the power we can get if we're going to be driving on this sort of thing. Car's going to keep banging on the terrain. It's definitely better behaved than it was. It's so hard to drive in this camera mode. I really don't know how people do it. And what I don't know is people who do, how they manage to drive a real car. Like, you know, surely it must feel really awkward to them that they're inside the car and not, like, you know, a mile away behind it. Oof. Yeah, this is quite high, actually. It's coming down it that's going to be the problem. Driving up the mountains, slow as it is, if you have a vehicle that can go up them, it's not hard to go up them, it can just be slow. Coming down them at any decent speed, that starts testing your abilities as a driver. And my abilities I don't think are bad, but like I say, I doubt I'm the best at this game. The best person at this game probably isn't recording themselves playing it. And I can play a bit better when I'm not recording, because obviously I can concentrate more. But there will be someone who's a lot better at it than me, and they probably just either haven't recorded it, I haven't seen it. It's not like I particularly go looking for it. But I don't know, I do at least sound the best person I've seen doing it in this format so far. And maybe, with any luck, it might encourage a person who's a lot better than me to do it, because I would actually love to see it. I would love to see somebody, like, somehow tearing up, like, 200 Ks, like, in the time that we're doing, like, 80. You know, that would actually be pretty fucking awesome to watch. Like, I would watch that. Without mods and, like, cheats or anything, just actually doing it. Right, I'm going to slow down here, because we can't see what's ahead all the time, and the terrain is gnarling a bit. And we do not want to wreck our car now, not after we've made it all this way. 703, okay, yeah, progress is good. We're just short of 10k over target with a few minutes to go. Oof, does look like another mountain over there, doesn't it? I did say we'd probably have 3 or 4 more mountains. And then there'll probably be a last level bit before we get to the end. It's what I feel like, it's just what my guts say to me. Actually, you know what would be really awkward is if the road ended going down a steep mountain, like actually going down one. That would be fucking weird. And potentially awkward if we were going fast at the time. God damn, yeah, this roughness is far more common than it was. That's for fucking certain. Let's be careful here. At least we're probably going to be leaving a grass biome pretty soon, it looks like. I don't know, it's sort of like we just go out the edge and then come back in. That sucks. It's weird how you can almost picture where there'd be farmers' fields on this or something. In a world that wasn't so dead. Good God, we are actually travelling at quite a speed, even though I'm riding the brake the whole way down. I do keep letting the speed run back up quite a ways when I can. But I have to slow down for things like this where I can't see ahead. So all you need is a rock in that dip and for us to be going like full fucking pelt out of control. And you ain't going to stop for it, and you ain't going to be able to swerve around it. We'll be going down the side of that mountain there, on our left. And we don't want to be doing that if we can help it. Because if the car starts rolling on there, yeah, we're in big trouble. We're in big, big trouble. And the only way I'm resorting to loading a save game is if it's a bug. Like if say I drove here and my car just got launched for no reason, or a rock spawned pretty much in the engine bay, I would consider that a bug and I would consider it fair game to reload. If I crash because I'm being reckless and I make a mistake, then we live with that and we just play from that point. We play it as it lies. You know, say I hit that rock there because I was being an idiot, well then we'd just play on from that point no matter what. You saw it when we ran out of fuel, well when we didn't have any fuel after the UFO. You've seen it when we've trashed cars and we've like faffed about to run them and stuff, and it maybe hasn't been as catastrophic as other people who play this necessarily, just because we have our wits about us a bit more, I think, than a lot of people. But you know, we've seen that we will just push like that when we need to. You've got to be very cautious of things like this now, just because the vehicles can take like several fucking tens of seconds to spawn, and if they spawn in on top of you, then well, they're going to fuck you up, and they can send you flying, destroy your car, kill you, and we don't really want to contend with it. Okay, we're going back up the mountains now. It is reasonably steep. And it does keep going up. You can see the road over there. KHT 287. It's the only plate of its kind. The other one probably fell off long ago and no longer exists. Probably gone through the wild. But that is our ugly fucking nipple bell end car, and it's going to be the one that gets us there, I think. Unless we turtle it and have to drive a Trabant the last few fucking feet or something. Come on, car, you can do it. I'll probably stop at the next building, or I might have to just dump you on the side of the mountain. It all depends on how things go, because I don't have much time left for this one. Fucking hell, like I said, the terrain generation in this game is strangely captivating at times, isn't it? I mean, look at that. You know, it's actually pretty cool. Like, a lot of it's really, really ugly. And I don't mind in this game. I mean, this game, I think, is supposed to be kind of ugly. I don't think this game should ever not be ugly. It is fitting. But, you know, there's bits like that where it's like, it actually does look really cool, and I like that. Oh, my car. It's getting destroyed.
This graveyard is full of the bones of those who I have destroyed. Now, prepare to hand over your heart. The ritual of engagement will begin soonly.
Man, his choreography is too good. I just picture him there practicing his moves when Alyssa shows up.
Yes, and then she'll go near the car, and I'll come out and I'll go, wah, with my... No.
No, it won't look good. And what if she runs that way? There's probably like chalking it all out on the floor and everything.
Listen, what chance does a pathetic girl like you have to... No. What chance does a pathetic little girl like you have to bring salvation to the dead Rhodas? Yes. Lord Burroughs, my ancestor, hear me. I know of your pain and anguish when you lost your beloved daughter Annabelle, and just before the ritual of engagement. Entity, was everything you're doing, is it all because of you?
I can't really yell at this time of night, sorry. Yeah, running out of time, come on. Give me a building. Probably not going to find one. They're a bit more dense than they used to be, but maybe not dense enough. Holy shit, are we actually going to get a snow biome? Man, that is blinding. Right, we'll stop here. This is where we're going to stop. That'll do it. That'll do, car, that'll do. Oh, look at it, piece of shit. It's doing it, man. It's getting us there. We can't complain. It's 8-0, because we're on part 82. Why's my zero key not working? How far have we got? We did have a couple of minutes left, I think. Might as well get while the getting's good. 4, 9, 6, 6. That is quite far. That is, again, about 84 kilometres. That ain't nothing to fucking cry about. We will be passing 5k in the next part in all likelihood, and so we will very much be getting into endgame territory, where any moment it could be over, or it could go for another 10 parts. We just don't know. I'm High Treason. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you're still here at this point, then yeah, well, you're I don't know what to say, but cool. I will see you in the next one, and it might be the last one. Oh man, I'm gonna lose my